This is James. I'm the Angry Nerd.
Hi, this is Mike. I played Bugs Bunny in this episode.
Yeah, this of course is a tribute to the Warner Brothers cartoons.
Right there, you see Reg US Pat Off in the credits,
Yeah,
and all this is supposed to just look like an old Warner Brothers
like the
cartoon.
bottle was the carrot.
Yeah, I just designed it just to make it look like an old title sequence from a classic Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, Mike did the intro. It's pretty
hmm
detailed. It definitely does look just like one of the classic Warner Brothers things. Those bottles were really hard to line up to get them to get the camera in there and get the bottles in front. It was pretty difficult. I remember we kept forgetting the pens here. Like a lot of shots, like the pens would be missing from my pockets.
And we had to reshoot the scene.
Yeah, we actually had to reshoot the scene where I was spitting beer all over. We did that like 3 or 4 times, I think. Yeah. Bugs Bunny's birthday blowout. Blow out your ass.
Bugs, more like Bugs Bunny's birthday beating. That was all improv. Came
Some
up.
stuff was,
Yeah,
yeah.
some of it was scripted,
hmm
but
The idea of this whole thing came about. We were just talking about like reviews coming up, and a lot of times I got so used to just reviewing the game, it kind of got stale, and I was like, all right, how about let's just have fun with one of these, and like let's get some kind of like just funny like cartoon, because almost in a way like when these videos started, they were all like 7 or 8 minutes long, and like which is pretty much the length of a Warner Brothers cartoon, and both of us being fans. I mean, back in the '80s, like growing up, like you couldn't even turn on the TV without seeing a Warner Brothers
mm,
cartoon. And nowadays, it's all like whatever crap is on TV now.
yeah, you can barely
But
see Warner Brothers or any kind of classic animation unless you buy it now on DVD. But back in the day, that's pretty much all that was on TV. So there's
yeah,
my big entrance.
yeah, right.
I come in.
Uh-huh. But I mean, the whole idea was just about like let's beat up somebody in a costume, like that, like the end of like Ace Ventura, like
Mm.
whatever, like all the when you beat up somebody in a costume, it's just funny, and that was the whole idea. That's really where it started, and we just said like, hey, let's get a Bugs Bunny costume and just beat the shit out of it, and just stuff it up like a dummy and throw it around, and like it's funny when you can tell that something is fake. I mean, like right here, like break the bottle over him, which
Which is like Photoshop or whatever.
yeah, like that's a digital effect there of the shatter because it was a lot easier than the
To actually break
yeah,
a bottle over my head
yeah. I
in
mean,
real life.
then have to do all these different
Yeah.
takes. We have to get another bottle. It was easier just to do one. But I mean, just to clarify, we love Bugs Bunny. I
hmm
mean, Bugs Bunny's awesome. It's not about like we hate Bugs Bunny. Let's beat him up.
Yeah.
That's not at all.
As you know,
You
like
know.
I do the title cards and I like to draw and all that kind of stuff. So like Warner Brothers cartoons and classic animation was it's a big part of it's what I love. So this wasn't like us beating up or the nerd beating up Bugs Bunny wasn't like you know trying to
No.
say anything against Warner Brothers or that we hate old cartoons or anything like that. It was actually more of a tribute to how much we actually love those cartoons. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the Batman punch kind of. You know what I really the biggest pain I had to go through to do this, more so than the shooting, was actually playing the game because I had to play it for like I don't know, it took like maybe like 3 hours to beat it, and it was very monotonous and boring game. And the more you play it, the more I started to play like shit because I was being really impatient and I like wasn't playing good and I just kept dying and dying, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to because I felt I just wanted to get to the end just to show most of the game. And that's pretty much what I did. I showed pretty much everything about this game that was worth showing.
You did
I
beat the
thought
game.
I did beat the game, yeah. Which was kind of like there's not a lot to say about this game, so I thought it was a perfect video to do with like something else
A
to it.
character.
Yeah, like have something going on. Yeah, I mean it's a very substandard game. It's not the worst I've ever played, but it's still very bad. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's also one of the hardest things. I don't really think you see it very much in the video. More so when you play it, is that there's like a stutter kind of, and it kind of makes you sick when you play it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, actually, this is one of the rare games when I was a kid. I'm getting my
The
face
face
kicked
going
in.
like right there,
Yeah.
it caves
Oh,
in.
I got really hurt there, didn't I? There was just a pillow inside that. So I
Yeah.
wasn't. My head wasn't actually getting crushed. In case any of you people on YouTube actually think that I was, but uh, yeah, I forgot.
I love the dummy shots, like when you can just tell it's a dummy.
It's a fake dummy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is all just annoying. Like you jump off the rope, but it doesn't. You can't get back on.
This
This
shot,
was
oh yeah,
lots of takes
yeah.
to get to
We
hit
must
you
have done
just
this
right.
20 times because James kept missing. That's a Super Mario Brothers ball, and he must have missed like 40 times. And actually, I was on the other end of that door.
You're holding it on a stick,
Yeah, I had
actually.
Bugs Bunny's head on a stick, so it wasn't actually my actual head.
Yeah. um. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so the stuttering part, like, yeah, it
It
definitely
does.
definitely does actually make you sick. I remember some games, like there was a James Bond game that
Hmm.
you're walking through like the tunnel or whatever, and you just feel like nauseous. And this is one of those games you just feel like really sick playing it.
Yeah. This was one of the videos. Like I wasn't sure to have Bugs Bunny just come in at the very end of the video, or like have the Bugs Bunny part in its like own segment, or like kind of disperse it throughout the video. And that's kind of what I chose to do. I thought it was best to like go back and forth between the game and like the Bugs Bunny beatings, because I mean, obviously we know that the Bugs Bunny part has nothing to do with like the games or anything like that, but it's just like, you know, when you cut back and forth, it all kind of works hand in hand.
Because think of this review if it didn't have all that Bugs Bunny stuff, just cut all that out.
Yeah.
It would be
It'd be boring.
it would be kind of boring. There's a few funny like comments as far as the gameplay, but this would
Yeah.
be a pretty boring review. So the Bugs Bunny like live action stuff really made this review.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it was really hot when
Yeah.
we filmed this. Like some parts, you can kind of see the sweat dripping off my face. But I mean, being in that costume must have been worse. I can imagine.
Yeah, it was
But
hot.
like, yeah, this was the middle of August, and we probably shot this over like 3 days. Like, because I mean, all these different angles and everything we had to get, and there was no camera person for this. It was literally just the two of us, and we were just setting up like there when he's falling. I'm the camera operator. The parts where you see me, it's like
The Shuriken right there
was real.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
you got hit.
For one thing, I actually got punched, and that was made up on the spot. James
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, let's do a Street Fighter move.
We forgot the feet at this part. Like the first take we did it at the boxes, we forgot to put Bugs Bunny's feet on. Which Bugs Bunny's feet, like you painted and everything, and
yeah,
the paint
actually,
was
those
drying.
were actually clown shoes.
Yeah. Oh, Atari trackball controller in
Because
that box.
I couldn't find Bugs Bunny feet anywhere on eBay or anything,
Yeah.
so I actually got a pair of clown shoes and painted them. So here we go.
Yeah.
Here comes the shit scene.
You want some shit? Yeah, it's like it all went up your nose. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like
Actually, those eye holes were right where my nose was, and the shit actually went through the mask, up my nose, and
Yeah.
out my mouth, and I was hacking up peanuts for about 15 minutes after that. So,
By the way, this is the first time I've ever seen anybody give a middle finger from out an asshole. Yeah. Anyway, wow, this is the end of the video already.
well, yeah. What's up, Doc?
And that's all, fucks.
Thanks.